And so it all comes down to this: Superman versus Dr. Manhattan, with the fate of not only the universe but the metaverse all hanging in the balance. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop into the pages of Doomsday Clock, issue number 12, the grand finale, and find out. Alrighty then, so picking up from where the last issue left off, Dr. Manhattan has finally fully revealed himself to Superman, by which of course I mean his plans, not his blue dong, although I guess he's always revealing himself to everybody all the time. Manhattan talks about how he's the one who changed the DC universe, stole their happiness, their mentors, altered their history, and even killed Superman's own parents just because he could, just because he wanted to see what would happen. And now the time draws nearer to see if Dr. Manhattan's vision will come to pass. Either Superman will slay him, or their fight will be so cataclysmic all of creation will be destroyed, fading to black forever. Granted, Dr. Manhattan is only one problem on Superman's ever-growing list of issues. He's got the Russian government who are trying to make him answer for the crimes of Firestorm, and then you got Black Adam and his coalition of superpowered individuals. Everything has gotten so bad right now it truly does feel like the end of the world, and this feeling is further echoed by Reggie Rorschach too. Yeah, I remember him, he kind of dropped off for a few issues, but he's back now. Reggie says that this is exactly how his Earth felt before it all got destroyed. Alfred has tracked him down, figuring that he is one of the only people who can actually turn the tide. Batman wants his help to try and track down Adrian wherever he's hiding, but Reggie just doesn't want to do it. He refuses to don the Rorschach mask again because now he knows the horrible truth. His father didn't actually break on through to the original Walter Kovacs. Walter Kovacs broke his dad. Batman's read Rorschach's journal though and says that it wasn't all lies, that Reggie's friend in the insane asylum, Mothman, wasn't trying to hurt him, he was trying to help him regain control over his life, shift the narrative. After all, a Rorschach is whatever you think it's supposed to look like. Which means Reggie can decide what Rorschach ultimately is, a force for good should he want it. Now during all of this chaos, Superman zips around trying to save as many lives as humanly possible, while Dr. Manhattan just kinda stands there, and Clark really can't make heads or tails of this. How can someone so powerful be so inactive? What is so broken in you you don't want to help? But Dr. Manhattan never helps. And for a second there, you think this might finally be the straw that breaks the camel's back, that this may actually enrage Superman enough to punch Dr. Manhattan's lights out. But, as is always the case, Superman, the Man of Steel, the Man of Tomorrow, finds a third way. Superman raises his hand not to hurt Dr. Manhattan, but to actually protect him from the rampaging supervillains, and this really resonates with Dr. Manhattan. Even after all the horrible things he's done, all the destruction he's wrought on this Earth, Superman is still so good and so pure, he's still trying to help him. In fact, Clark even says that maybe Dr. Manhattan had it all wrong, and that darkness he saw didn't mean death and destruction. Maybe it actually meant something positive. Maybe it means Dr. Manhattan got involved, and indeed he does. We see multiple pages of darkness before eventually the entire DC timeline starting over again. Only this time, Dr. Manhattan goes out of his way to repair what he broke. Alan Scott retrieves his Green Lantern when he was supposed to. The Justice Society of America is born. Ma and Pa Kent are saved from the car crash that would have killed them by their son, who has become Superboy once again in a repaired timeline. And these small actions end up having ripple effects all throughout the universe. Dr. Manhattan says he now finally understands the importance of Superman, why he's at the center of this metaverse. It's because no matter how the Earth changes and reforges itself after crises, Superman is still the bridge that links generations. He is the North Star always pointing home. And not just now, but forever. Dr. Manhattan looks into the far future and sees crises that haven't even come yet. He sees the coming of the 5G generation. Why, he even sees a secret crisis wherein Superman does battle with a green behemoth, the Hulk. With the timeline repaired too, it means the Justice Society and many other heroes who were lost in the New 52 Rebirth era have finally returned and are able to back up Superman in pushing back the forces of Black Adam and the Russian superhumans. The battle is won and the day is ultimately saved, but there's still the matter of bringing Ozymandias to justice, as well as dealing with all the different Watchmen universe refugees. Adrian, smug snake that he is, takes this opportunity to gloat, saying that this was all part of his plan. He knew Dr. Manhattan would never get off his big blue omnipotent butt on his own, but that Superman could definitely spur him into action to save not only his universe, but the Watchmen universe too. That's still not to say Ozymandias isn't going to be punished. The comedian still has a score to settle with him before eventually being returned to the moment of his own death. Reggie, too, ultimately shows how far he's come as a character as well. He chooses not to enact revenge on Adrian, even though that's something the old Rorschach would definitely do. He's not the old Rorschach now. He's something different, something better, and he stops Adrian's bleeding with his own mask. Heck, even Carver Coleman, the actor, ends up reaping the benefits of a new, better Dr. Manhattan who warns him of his impending death, which means he's actually able to bounce back from scandal and depression and end up becoming a major advocate for gay actors, continuing his film career and dying of natural causes in 2005. Now, the last matter to actually be dealt with is the fate of Marionette and Mime's child. Yes, they'll have a daughter now that was conceived in this universe, but what about their son, the one that Dr. Manhattan had a hard time reading? Well, and this is really unexpected here, Dr. Manhattan actually took that child and raised him himself. John says that he knows full well he could never be the kind of hero that his universe needed. He could never be their Superman, but maybe he could make sure that they got their own Superman anyway. You see, John actually imparts his power to this child before sending him to go live with the Drybergs. Naturally, this loving family welcomes this godchild with open arms, and what was the name that Dr. Manhattan gave this boy? Clark, of course. And what of our Clark? Well, he got his ma and pa Kent back, because nothing ever ends, Adrian. Nothing ever ends. And so that was Doomsday Clock issue number 12, everybody, and I gotta admit, after all the delays, after all the behind-the-scenes shenanigans and implied shenanigans, I really wasn't certain if Jeff Johns could hit the landing, but oh boy, this mad genius did it. It took him 2 years, but he frickin' did it. He delivered one hell of a satisfying conclusion to this story. One that I think is both a great little love letter to the Watchmen, but even more so a love letter to Superman and his importance to the DC universe. Heck, this book also promises a lot of stuff that should be coming down the line soon. A return of the JSA, Wonder Woman becoming the first hero in DC continuity. Gary Frank drew a hell of a book, too. I don't think I give artists near enough credit, but seriously, that final big stare down between Superman and Dr. Manhattan, we're going to be talking about that one for a long time to come. There's just so much hope and positivity radiating this story. I'm sure in the weeks and months to come, we'll be talking more about whether or not having a happy ending for Watchmen was true to Alan Moore's own original vision, but for what it's worth, I did really enjoy this. This ended up being one of the most pleasant surprises of my comic reading year. I give this one a 10 out of 10. This was great.
Hey there everyone, Kate Joel again, and I just want to thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. It means a lot to me. And hey, if you enjoyed the book I covered in this issue and want some comics of your own, might I recommend Book Depository? It's my #1 place for shopping for comic book trades. You get a great price, and if you use my link down in the description, you'll actually be helping me out at the same time. You get something, I get something, everybody wins, right? So until next time everyone, I've been Joel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.